Good morning, students. This is Mrs. Viji, Assistant Professor in English from Vellalar College of Education. And today we are going to discuss about the second half of Unit 1 in paper Pedagogy of English. Already we have completed the first two major topics in Unit number 1, that is the need and significance, and then objectives, instructional objectives of teaching English. Those details and all we have discussed in the previous class, and now we are going to discuss about the another two important topics, that is Bloom's taxonomy and revised Bloom's taxonomy. That is what we are going to discuss now. Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives. Actually, this Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives is a hierarchical ordering of skills in different domains. This is basically a judicious combination of educational logic and psychological classification of systems. So in this classification, we are going to discuss the major thing, and one among them is the desired outcome of learning. Okay, what is the outcome of learning? Once we are teaching some topics, once we are teaching some subjects, we can expect some outcome, no? So based on the outcome, we have to set our objectives. Those objectives can be called as the educational objectives. Taxonomy of educational objectives, it's nothing but the expected outcome as a result of an education. If you are teaching something, you can expect some better outcome, no? So based on that, your objectives should be framed. So those objectives can be classified in three different aspects. Those aspects only we are going to see today. Okay, so the main aspects are based on three different things. It is about knowledge, emotions, and the another one is your motor skill. Okay, so all your three objectives should be based on three things. One is knowledge, character, and skill. Let's discuss one by one in detail now. The term taxonomy, it is nothing, actually it has its origin from the Greek word taxis, which means a classification. As I said, the educational objectives has been classified into three different domains. The educational objectives has been classified into three different domains. This classification can be called as taxonomy. Okay, and this taxonomy, it was formulated by Benjamin Bloom. Okay, actually he was an educationist. In the year 1965, he formulated this taxonomy. He formulated this classification, hence it was named as Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, and this formulation was happened in the year 1956. And in that classification, he insisted three different domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain. So these three things plays a major role in this classification, and this cognitive domain highlights the knowledge field, affective domain, it focuses on the character, and psychomotor, it denotes the action. Okay, so these three things, we can term these three things as CAP. In shortened form, we can say CAP, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Please remember, this taxonomy, it was formulated by Benjamin Bloom in the year 1965, and he has given three different domains, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And we can also term these things as triple H, that is the cognitive domain, it denotes head, because it represents our knowledge and intelligence, no? So that cognitive, it denotes the term H, that is head. And the second one, affective domain, it denotes heart, the second H. Okay, it is about the feeling, it is about the character. And the third H is hand. It denotes the physical activity. Okay, so all these three different domains, it was insisted by some of the specialists whose name were listed by me here. In the year 1956, Benjamin Bloom, he insisted the first domain, that is cognitive, and the second one affective domain. It was insisted by Krathwohl in the year 1964, and Dave, he gave importance to the psychomotor domain, and he had done his work in the year 1969. Please remember, and he is Dr. Benjamin Bloom, and he is an educationist, he is a professor. He only gave this classification. Okay, and now we are going to discuss in detail about cognitive domain. Now, as I said, cognitive domain, it's nothing but it helps you to gain more knowledge. It denotes the first H, that is your head. Okay, please remember, and for each of the domain we have numerous components. Okay, for the first domain, for the cognitive domain, we have 6 different components: knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So these are the 6 components for cognitive domain, and we are going to discuss all those components one by one in detail now. The first thing is knowledge. It's nothing about recalling and recognition of ideas. That is, whatever we learned in our classroom, we should be able to recall all those things. Okay, we should be able to recall what all we have read in our classroom. Okay, that ability, that knowledge, those information should be retrieved, it should be recognized. That is knowledge. Okay, so the second thing is understanding. Whatever you have read, it should be understood by the learner, it should be understood by the student. That is understanding. Then application, this is the real root. Okay, so education is nothing but whatever we have learned, we should apply in our daily life. Once we are learning a theorem, it should be practically applied. Okay, so that is application. If you are understanding, if you are gaining knowledge of how the sun produces heat, or how some of the scientific things are happening, once we gain the knowledge of something, some theorem or some effect, it should be applied. Okay, if you are learning an additional, if a small student is learning an additional, okay, how 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, how it has been taught to them orally, but in their real life, they have to apply. They have to buy 2 and another 2, and in addition to that, they have to learn, oh, this 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, this is what we have learned. Like that, whatever they have learned, they should apply all those things in their life. That is application. They have to apply their learning skill in their daily life. Okay, then analysis. Analysis means it's nothing but you have to, if you have a lot of things, means you just split it, break that into small segments. Okay, break down the information into small components, and then try to understand, and then try to learn, and then try to analyze. Okay, whatever it is, you can analyze first, breaking an information into small things, into small components, into small units. That is analysis. So breaking a big into small thing is analysis. In the same way, synthesis means it's nothing but you have to assemble all those things. Okay, you can make all the small units to get a sum up, to get a fulfilled object. Okay, so like that, breaking a big thing into small components is analysis, and just joining together, summing up all the whole things, assemble all the whole parts, and to make a single object, to get a new shape, new meaningful shape. That is synthesis. And evaluation, it's nothing but measuring the capability. After the learning process, we have to measure whether we have understood the concept, whether we have understood the information properly or not. That is evaluation. So these are the 6 components of cognitive domain. Please remember. Again, I have given the same thing. The first thing is knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation. It's nothing but knowledge, that is the recalling of data. Once we recall the data, we have to understand the concept. Once you are able to understand the concept, it should be applied to a new situation, and after that you have to separate. So this is 2 apple, this is another 2 apple. So like that, you should be able to synthesis. Okay, you should be able to analyze. After analysis, if you just make it as a whole thing, that is synthesis. And then at the end of the process, you have to evaluate whether you are able to follow that, whether you have able to understand, whether you are capable. Like that, you can evaluate. Okay, So this is cognitive domain, and the next thing is affective domain. This, as I said earlier, this it denotes the second H, that is the heart. Okay, so affective domain, it directly deals with the values, your feelings, emotions, your character, attitude, all those things. Okay, but cognitive, it deals with the knowledge level, but affective domain, it deals with the character and emotions. Okay, and it focuses on, we can deal this thing with the development of heart and mind of the students. Okay, it can help to measure the level of the matured level, that is the mind maturity of the students, whether they are able to balance, whether they are able to face all the challenges, whether they are emotionally balanced. Like that, we can easily measure the students emotions and character by using this domain. In this domain also, we have 5 different components. Okay, that is receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, and characterizing. So one by one, let's see one by one in detail. Receiving means it's nothing but the student should be ready to receive whatever the teacher is conveying. First, we have to receive. The students should receive all the information which has been presented in their environment, and then responding. Once you are getting, once the teacher is asking, once after the teaching of this once the teacher completes the session, she has to ask more questions, right? Once the teacher is asking, the student should show some response. Okay, whether either in the form of writing a test or in the form of giving answers to the questions of the students, questions of the teacher. Like that, the student should respond, and then their answers should be valued, whether it is correct or not, whether it is appreciable or not, whether they have understood the concept properly or not. Like that, whatever the answer were given by the student, it should be valued and then organized. Okay, the interrelationships should be established, and it should be resolved. If there is any conflict, if there is any difficulties, it should be resolved by the teacher. And characterization at the last, this is the last one. After valuing all their answers, you have to appreciate them, and this is about characterization. So please remember, as we have 6 components in cognitive domain, here in this affective domain we have 5 components, that is receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, and characterization. The first thing is the student should be ready to accept, to receive the information, and once they receive, they should be able to respond, they should be able to answer the questions posted by the teacher, and for those correct answer, their values, their answers should be valued, and it should be appreciated, and it should be considered, and after that organized. And then after that, after receiving their answers, the teacher should compare whether it is correct or not, it is related, it is relevant, it is comparable, it is acceptable, it is reasonable, and all those things. And at the last, okay, so all the integrations of beliefs, ideas, and attitudes will take place. Okay, so this is about affective domain. And now we are going to deal about the psychomotor domain. It is the third one, psychomotor domain. This is the third one, that is the third H. I told you as at the earliest, the third H, it denotes the hand symbol, right? So here the psychomotor domain, it deals both, as the name indicates, psycho and motor, both physical and mental activity together. That is psychomotor. Please remember, psychomotor, it's nothing but both physical and mental skill. Okay, so here also we have 5 different components, that is imitation, manipulation, precision, articulation, and naturalization. So the first thing, imitation is nothing but, as we all know, simply imitating the practice of others, simply imitating the action, that is copying and repeating, observing and repeating the actions or performance or the words of others, that is imitation. And the next thing is manipulation. So if you want to do any changes, if while performing the actions, while performing some other activities, we can do some manipulations, we can do some changes in that as per our convenience, that is manipulation. And then precision, so redoing, precision means it's nothing but repeating the action again to get more accuracy. For example, in the demonstrations classes, in school days and all, you might have attended so many lab classes. In that lab, in the very first, we couldn't expect the result in the very first attempt itself. So once the experiment has been Failed means another, again and again we have to repeat the same thing till you get the approximate result, right? So that is redoing, repeating, that is precision. Okay, and then articulation, it is about the coordination. Okay, so many things we are doing, no, we should have some coordination and sequence there. Sequence means is nothing but the logical order. Whatever work we are doing, we should have some sequence, we should have some logical order there. Okay, so these are the 5 different components of psychomotor domain. So far we discussed about 3 different domains. One is cognitive, another one is affective, another one is psychomotor. So cognitive, it is completely deals with the cognitive level, that is your knowledge level, and affective domain, it deals about your character, and psychomotor, it deals your physical and mental skill. Okay, and the next topic is revised Bloom's taxonomy. And this Bloom's taxonomy, actually Bloom's taxonomy was formulated initially in the year 1956 by Benjamin Bloom. We have discussed already. And now this taxonomy, after so many years, it was revised, okay, by 2 different people. Even those 2 people were the students of Benjamin. Actually, Krathwohl and Anderson, they have revised this taxonomy, and they have made a small modifications in the first domain, that is cognitive domain. Okay, they concentrated on 3 different changes. Okay, so these changes have been termed as revised taxonomy, and this revision was made in the year 2001. So please remember, in the year 2001 the revision was made. Okay, so I have given an image to show the difference between old version and the new version. Please just have a glance. The first thing is 1956, it was given by Benjamin Bloom, and the second one is it was formulated in the year 2001. Okay, 1956 it was formulated only by Benjamin, and here in 2001 it was revised by Anderson and Krathwohl. Just look at the terms, and he made all the changes only in the cognitive domain. In the cognitive domain, as we all know, we have 6 different components. That is what I have listed here: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis and evaluation. And they have made some changes. Just please have a glance. We can easily identify 2 different changes. One is all the noun forms have been changed into verb form here. For example, application, apply; analysis, analyze; evaluation, create. Okay, so this is the major thing we have to notice. Okay, the first thing is the noun form have been changed into verb form, one thing. And the another changes, look at the order, look at the structure: synthesis, evaluation. Those, look at the old version, 5th component is synthesis and the 6th one is evaluation. And look at the new version, those 2 has been replaced. Instead of synthesis, we have used, Anderson and Krathwohl have used evaluate as the 5th component and create as the 6th component. So they have changed the forms as well as the structure. Okay, so please remember, we have to do 3 things. We have to note down 3 things. So 3 changes they have made. That is what we are going to see. And here, Lauren Anderson and David Krathwohl, these people are the students of Benjamin Bloom. Okay, yes, this is what we have to focus. They have made changes in 3 different things. One is terminology, structure and emphasis. So terminology, as I said, all the noun forms have been changed into verb form. Structure, this is also, I said, both the 5th and 6th component has been replaced, right? So that is structure. Emphasis, importance, it's nothing but importance. Okay, they have given importance to something else when compared to Benjamin. So I'll explain that also. The first thing, terminology, as I said, all the noun forms to verb forms. Okay, again I have given the image just for your verification. You can recall now. Noun form has been changed into verb form. The second thing is structure. So this is also the same. The 5th and 6th element has been changed. And now the emphasis. So this is the third one. Emphasis means Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy, it focused only a small group of audience. But Anderson and Krathwohl, they have made that revised taxonomy, no, that focused a large number of audience. So this is the emphasis. Emphasis means is nothing but the importance. So Benjamin Bloom's focused, he has given importance only to small number of people, and Anderson and Krathwohl, they have given importance to a large number of audience. So this is the difference. Okay, and I have given the old and revised edition for with all the 3 domains. Okay. So this part is over. With this we have completed unit number 1. So please remember, all the 4 topics are very important. The first thing we have learned about the meaning, functions, characteristics of language, scope of language, needs and significance, and then objectives, instructional objectives. We have seen all those things. In this part we have discussed about Bloom's taxonomy and revised Bloom's taxonomy. All these topics are very important and I have given in a simple language, and the PPT for all these topics will be shared to you shortly. Just have a glance, go through and get ready for your exam. Thank you.